Hello, and welcome to the New Law Podcast, where we guide entrepreneurial lawyers to build law practices into businesses they love. I'm Allie Katz. In today's episode, you are going to see exactly how to get so super specific about who you serve that the people that you serve will be hungry for your service. We're talking about niche clarity and how you can make the biggest positive impact by focusing on being of service to the smallest, most specific group of people. If you're not clear on who you serve or how you want to serve them, this episode will help you understand your audience and how to reach them. Let's get into it.
What I want you to remember is that every single person that you speak with needs something from you. If they're listening to you as a lawyer, whether they're listening to you in a presentation or they're listening to you in a family wealth planning session or life and legacy planning session, they're listening to you because they need something from you. The very first thing that they need from you is education. What is the education that they need? They need education that will help them to look at what does happen if they become incapacitated and when they die. What will happen? What will happen if they become incapacitated or when they die? Because that way they can make decisions about what they want to happen. And they can either do their planning themselves, which is a legitimate option. Okay? They can either do planning themselves, which is a legitimate option, or they can do planning with you. And I want your education to help people filter out when should they do it themselves and when should they do it with you. Here's the fact of the matter. Somebody who has a very simple situation and who has the time, energy, and attention to do it themselves and isn't that concerned with their family having an advisor to turn to and the support in the event that they become incapacitated or in the event of their death to turn to, they can do it themselves. Don't be afraid to tell people what they can do themselves. Because there is plenty of enough people in your community who don't fall into that category. Either they have a complex reality, like a blended family, like young kids and senior parents that they have to figure out how to take care of in the right way, like complexity of assets in multiple states, or just the reality of they're busy and disorganized, or they understand that, gosh, if they don't even have the time to focus on this right now, what would happen if they became incapacitated or when they died? How would their family have the time? How would their family even know what they have or where it is? They don't want to go it alone. Those are your clients. Those are your clients. The people who want support, the people who want to leave their family members, their loved ones with support. These are the people that you are here to serve. The people that have simple situations that they really can just put in place a set of documents by going to 5 wishes for their medical directive in the state power of attorney form for their power of attorney and freewill.com for their free will, or maybe just do it all on trustandwill.com because their situation is actually simple, or they have plenty of time on their hands. Just tell them how they can do it on their own. But make sure that they understand that if what they really want is for their loved ones to have someone to turn to, when something does occur. If they really want their loved ones to know what they have, where it is, how to find it. If they really want to make sure that their kids will be taken care of by the people that they want in the way that they want, no matter what. If they really want to make sure that everybody that they've named in their plan is prepared to step in when something happens, that's what your planning does. That's what your planning does. That's what having your support does. That's what makes your support different than what folks can do for themselves online. That's what makes your support different than the other lawyers out there who may be, by the way, using very similar sales and marketing strategies that you are. So it's more important than ever that you have a real understanding yourself of what makes your planning different and what you are putting in place to ensure that their plan stays up to date throughout their lifetime. It creates an inventory of their assets so that none of their assets are lost, that part of their plan is ensuring that everybody that they've named knows what to do if and when something happens, that ensuring that their plan takes care of their kids in the right way, if they have minor children, that ensuring that their plan takes into consideration what happens to their senior parents. And how and why is this so important, and even more important now with what's happening in the world, with what's happening in the economy? Because helping people to look at what they have and looking at what we have and making a wise allocation of our resources based on looking at what we have rather than just defaulting into patterns associated with fear helps us to make better decisions about the use of our resources. And the thing that you need to help your clients to know and remember, which means that you need to know it and remember it, is that as we go through an economic shift, as we go through an economic crisis, some people get wealthier and some people get poorer. Some families come out the other side stronger. Some families come out the other side weaker. What makes the difference? What makes the difference is guidance. What makes the difference is wise investments. What makes the difference is looking at what we have and investing for the future that we want to create. You can help your clients to do that. You can help your clients to do that. Now, what that means for you is that you need to be doing that. You need to be doing that yourself. And if you are making your choices from a place of fear, then that is what you will see being reflected back to you. And so it is critically incumbent upon you as the leader in your community to stay focused on your goals, to stay focused on service, to stay focused on how you can educate as many people as possible from a place of service, helping those that don't need you to do what they can without you, and helping those that do need you in the very best way you can, at the highest level of service that you can. So before I get into our celebrations, if you haven't yet put here in the chat who you serve, please do that now. Please do that now. That's where it starts. Who do you serve? Focusing on them. And I'm going to read out some of what you all shared. And if you at all feel in any way unclear about anything that I am saying right now about how to serve in the best way possible by educating broadly within the context of who you serve so that people know what they can do themselves and people know when they need you, please raise your hand so I can work on that with you today. Okay, let me take a look at some of who you all said that you serve.
Would you love direct support to help you grow your law practice into a business you love? Go to newlawbusinessmodel.com/show and sign up for a call with one of our trusted law business advisors. Each of our advisors has been trained directly by me over the past 5 years plus to help you chart your path from wherever you are now to where you want to go as efficiently and effectively as possible. You're ready to love your law practice and your life as a lawyer? We're here to help.
Savannah, you're not sure yet, but you're leaning towards serving families and the elderly. So Savannah, I want you to get more narrow than that. Families and the elderly, that's very broad. You can't reach all of them. So when you say families and the elderly, tell me more. Anthony, you serve members of your East Valley, Arizona community who are in the position of caring for minor children and probably also caring for aging parents, the sandwich generation as they're called. Yes, Anthony, the sandwich generation. So here's what I want you to do, Anthony, for that. East Valley, Arizona. Give me an age range there. How old are these people? How old are these people that are caring for minor children and their aging parents? Bijan, you serve Iranians, immigrants, the LGBTQ plus community, artists and engineers, and writing that out makes it seem that it is still not focused enough. That's right, Bijan, it's not focused enough because you can't show up in all those places. Now, if you said to me, I serve Iranians who immigrated here that are part of the LGBTQ community, who are also artists and engineers, I might say that's too specific. That's too specific. So I want you to think of it, Bijan, as within the groups that you shared. If you were going to go speak to a group of people within that group about a very specific topic, how would you choose? How would you choose among that group? Jeremy, you serve the families of Parker County, Texas that realize they need planning for protecting their families and they wish to place an emphasis on passing on and protecting their assets and values for their families. Okay, great. So Jeremy, Parker County, Texas, perfect. Who in Parker County, Texas, what has to be true for somebody in Parker County, Texas to have it be that they place an emphasis on passing on and protecting their assets and values for their families? What has to be true for them? What has to be true for them about their income? What has to be true for them about their marital status? What has to be true for them about their age? What has to be true for them about the kinds of work they do? So Julie, older people, empty nesters. Okay, great. Where are these older people and empty nesters, Julie? Dahlia, single women and families with minor children. Great, where are they? Who are these single women and families with minor children? Sonamar, families with children, blended families, and adoptive parents. So Sonamar, hearing that, what I imagine is true for all of them, and what I question about all of them is when you're speaking of families with children, do they have young children or old children? Are they adoptive parents of minors or older children? And these blended families, how old are the children? Alan, great, 45 to 70-year-old married couples with grown children. And I imagine in a very specific area. Right, Alan? Tell me more about their income level. Tell me more about their asset level. Jane Allison, families with an Alzheimer's loved one. Okay, so Jane Allison, with the families with loved ones who have Alzheimer's, are these loved ones with Alzheimer's already in a memory care facility? Are these family members with Alzheimer's at home? Tell me more about these families with a loved one who has Alzheimer's. Ada Marie, all residents of Commonwealth of Virginia. That's far too big. So if you were going to become the star, if you were going to become the go-to lawyer, if you were going to have it where everyone in your target market that I'm speaking about here knew you, it was like, oh yeah, Ada Marie, she's our lawyer. Oh yeah, she serves us. Could you afford to reach all residents of Commonwealth of Virginia? No. Kimberly, tell me more. LGBTQ plus community, where? And what part of that community? Because you can't reach the whole LGBTQ plus community, but you can reach the LGBTQ plus community in a very specific area and that has other specifics about them that you can speak to directly. Sandra, those looking to protect their assets for their kids and family, keeping their assets out of probate and protecting them from creditors. Who is that, Sandra, in your community? Who is that? Is it people with young children? Is it business owners? Is it seniors? Daniel, special needs families and elder clients, but you're feeling the universe drawing you to high net worth clients. Okay, interesting that you're feeling the universe drawing you to high net worth clients. Let's just focus on the special needs families and elder clients. So serving the folks in your community who have children with special needs, it's pretty easy to reach them with a very specific message. And then Daniel, the elder clients, what's true about these elder clients? What's true, right? It's not all elders. It's not all seniors. There's a specific psychographic, especially if they're high net worth, that you want to focus on. Deanna, you want to focus on young families, but you've been all over the place because you feel older people are easier because they know they need an estate plan. So Deanna, I'm curious, are you marketing? Are you bringing people to a presentation with you in your community? Are you laser focusing your marketing? Because if you've been all over the place, you can't be. You can't be laser focusing your marketing, and that's what I'm calling for here. So what I can tell you is that when I first built my law practice, the hardest thing in the world for me to do was what I'm inviting you to do now, laser focus. My first laser focus was on families with young children. And when I told the lawyers in my community that that's what I wanted to do, they all said that I would starve. They said families with young children do not want to focus on estate planning. That was not true. The families in my community who were buying $1,000 strollers and putting their kids into private school and putting their kids into private daycares and had nannies coming to their homes to take care of their kids, they all wanted to focus on estate planning once they understood, once they were educated by me, once they heard me speak, once they saw my presentation, once they understood the risk of not doing estate planning. Pantea, well, this I don't think is Pantea, this is Serena. Serena, it's families and business owners in your community, but which ones? Which ones? Okay, so Coachella Valley. What's true about the families and business owners in your community that you are here to serve? It can't be all families and businesses in the Coachella Valley. You couldn't serve all of them. Think about this, y'all. You all can only serve a maximum of 4 to, I'd guess, 16 new clients a month for the vast majority of you are here. Some of you have already built businesses where you could serve 20 to 25 a month. Very few of you, if any, that are on this call. So if you can only serve between 4 and call it 16 You can't serve all the families and business owners in the Coachella Valley. So you're going to have to get very clear. Who are the right people within that? Tony, single professional women with or without children and aging parents. So these are, Tony, this is perfect. These are the single women. They're professionals. Tell me more about what it means that they're professionals. What is their income range? They may have children. They may not have children. They have aging parents. Now, when you're that specific, you can begin to ask the question, where are these single women spending their time, their free time? Where are these single women spending their free time? Because, Tony, you're going to go out and give them a message that invites them to a presentation where they hear you speak in such a way that they say, that's my trusted advisor. That's my personal family lawyer. That's the person that I want on my side or on my family side if and when something happens to me. I want her to be the one that is holding my aging parents' hands or holding my hand as I figure out how to take care of my aging parents, and that will be holding the hands of the guardians of the people that I've named of my children if I can't be there. Anthony, 40 to 55, is that an appropriate age range? I feel like 40 to 65 is a cop-out. So 40 to 55 is a fully appropriate age range. Absolutely. Even 40 to 65 could be an appropriate age range. The question is, what's on the mind and heart of a person who's in there from 40 to 55? What is in their mind and heart? What do they care about? Based on the stage of life that they're in, the age of their children and the age of their parents and their own age. What I'm finding for myself now that I'll be 50 in a month, we start to really care about our health. We start to really realize, wow, people around us are dying of cancer or fighting cancer. Wow, I really need to start thinking about where I'm fully showing up as an adult in my life and where I'm not. I really need to start thinking about, oh gosh, are my kids going to actually be the kinds of adults that I want them to be? Are my kids going to be able to take over one day and take care of me? Can I take care of my parents? These are the things that are on the minds of the people in their 40 to 55 age range. Kimberly, you're pivoting to try to serve. Let me rephrase you here. So Kimberly, you said, I'm pivoting to try to serve single professionals with or without children like me in the Atlanta metro area. So I want to delete this word try. Kimberly, rewrite this for me. I am serving single professional women, because I think if they're like you, they're women. I'm serving single professional women in the Atlanta metro area. Susanna, you're serving 45 plus, caring for minor children and aging parents, just like me. Catherine, I serve families and landowners with small family businesses like farms in Georgia. Okay, this is a perfect one, right, Catherine? Farmers and landowners with small family businesses like farms in Georgia, you can reach them. In fact, I would argue that you could get a list of every single one of those, and you could invite them to a presentation to hear you speak about what farmers and landowners with small family businesses in Georgia need to think about to make sure that their loved ones don't lose the family farm or business if they become incapacitated or when they die. Kimberly, LGBTQ+ community in Central Texas in the Waco area. Great. Now tell me more specifically, what has to be true for somebody in the LGBTQ+ community to want to hear you talk about what happens when they become incapacitated and die? Okay. Got it. So Toby, what's coming up for you is that being narrow seems so limiting when you're struggling to increase the number of your clients and build $1 million practice eventually. Are we supposed to turn people away who don't fit our avatar? Absolutely not. So this is a common mistake Very common mistake, and I'm so glad that you brought this up, Toby. So there's two things here that are getting in your way. There's two things here that are getting in your way. When I speak, so first of all, on your way to building $1 million practice, you first need to build a $250,000 a year practice. You will not build $1 million practice without first building a $250,000 a year practice. I want you all to consider, how many clients do you need to engage each month to build to your next level, not to $1 million practice, unless you're already at 15 or 16 new clients a month. If you're already at 15 to 16 new clients per month, you can be thinking about the $1 million practice that you can be at next year. But if you are not yet at 250,000 a month, your $1 million practice is 2 to 3 years away. And the only way you get there in 2 to 3 years from now is to focus on what's next. And what's next is 250,000. Now, that's first. But the second piece that you said is, do I turn clients away if they don't meet my avatar? No. If you can serve the people who come, you don't turn them away, because what will happen when you hone in your avatar and focus your marketing on just marketing to your avatar is that you will get more of everything else too. This is the most shocking part, is that when you hone your marketing to a very specific avatar and you become a star to a very specific audience, everybody else comes too. And you don't turn them away from a service perspective unless you can't serve them, in which case you do turn them away. You refer them out, or you co-counsel. But if you can serve them, you do serve them. So when I focused on serving families with young children, all of a sudden I started getting their parents. Seniors. I wasn't marketing to seniors, and yet I got seniors. I started getting high net worth because some of the parents of these families with young children were high net worth. Some of the families with young children themselves were high net worth. Some of the families with young children were business owners. I was not marketing to business owners or high net worth families or families with special needs or elders. And yet they all came because my marketing was very focused. So what I am telling you here is not to, you don't have to necessarily narrow your service. You are narrowing your marketing. Why are you doing that? Because you don't have the time, energy, attention, money, or ability, frankly, to reach a wider audience yet. You've got to master one first. And when you master one, that can get you to your 4 to 6 new clients a month, which will then give you the ability to get to your 10 to 12 new clients a month, which will then give you your ability to get to your eventually $1 million business. But you've got to meet yourself where you are. And I'm telling you without question that this is your first step. Kimberly, great. LGBTQ plus community in Central Texas with minor children. Fantastic. Now, what happens when you are that clear is you can begin to ask yourself, what is the message that those families need to hear, and where do I need to put that message so that any LGBTQ person with children, minor children, in Central Texas thinks of Kimberly Souders? What events do you need to attend? What direct mail pieces do you get to send out? What email blasts? What organizations? What other professionals are already serving that community? Bijan, refined, Iranian professionals who are first-generation immigrants and are in the accumulation phase of their lives. Be more clear of what that means. They own a home, they have some investments, they're married, with or without children, they're in Southern California, they love arts and are specific, and they love arts and are accepting of the LGBTQ plus community. You asked, is that too specific? You're going to need to tell me by testing it. Here's what I want to know, Bijan. First of all, we know that they're going to be accepting of the LGBTQ plus community because that's you. And they're either going to accept you or they're not. My question for you is, where are these Iranian professionals? Where are they getting together? How can you reach them? Could you become the go-to lawyer for these professionals, first-generation immigrants in Southern California? Without question. You just need to identify where they are. Okay. You guys are doing great here. You all are doing amazing.
Thanks for listening. If you want the kind of support that you heard me giving in this podcast, go to newlawbusinessmodel.com/show and book your call with a law business advisor so you can map the path to discovering exactly how you can turn your law practice into a business you absolutely love. But before you do that, connect with us on Instagram at New Law Business Model and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And of course, we would love your 5-star reviews on wherever you're listening to this episode. And after all that, go to newlawbusinessmodel.com/show and book a call with one of our law business advisors. I look forward to seeing you on one of our future coaching calls. Bye for now.